There was no signs, absolutely nothing, prior to maybe that Sunday before he was diagnosed.
There was no way what was a perfectly healthy boy at 6 months who showed no signs of any illness up until this point that could have cancer. It didn't make logical sense.
Everything in life that we kind of valued and worried about before kind of went away, and it was just all about what was going to happen to our son.
Bob and I tried to have children and were told there was a 1% chance that we could have kids, and then found out I was pregnant. So we knew right away that he was this miracle baby.
You know, it was just a real gift for us as a family.
And he really, from the very first day, really displayed how special he was.
And in June of that year, we essentially were on vacation, enjoying life, and he was just a happy baby boy.
He was playing in the water. I mean, life seemed to be just about as perfect as it possibly could be.
And little did we know what was looming in August.
Hawk became really, really sick. And then after 4 different doctor visits, 2 ER visits within 6 days is when we got the news as parents that no parent ever wants to hear or expects to hear.
Essentially, we were told, you know, he had a virus and, you know, was sick. And I give Shannon just a ton of credit because maybe it's mother's intuition or her passion for her son, but she pushed it throughout that week, and she essentially saved his life.
And at the time, we didn't really know what that meant other than he had cancer, and we couldn't really wrap our heads around that until the doctor said, one of you is going to have to quit working. This is going to be a full-time commitment.
Someone is going to have to be with him 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for the next 6 or 8 months.
Burkitt leukemia, it is really a very unique type of leukemia of the white blood cells.
The Burkitt leukemia really represents about 1 to 2% of all lymphoblastic leukemias.
Nobody's ever heard of Burkitt's, and the reason is it's so rare.
Because this is a very aggressive leukemia, you want to give it enough chemotherapy, but at the same time, how much chemotherapy you give and how do you dose it in this young age is a big challenge.
You know, they basically told us, we believe we can beat this disease, but we don't know if his body can take the treatment.
And as far as we could tell, this was the youngest patient ever to be described. We had to watch him extra careful for complications because he couldn't communicate how he was feeling to us.
The leukemia cells can double every 24 hours, which is why Hawk's transformation in his face happened so quickly.
I never forget, we just text every night when we go to bed. She texts me something like, he's so sick, what are we gonna do? And I just remember texting, fight. That's what we're gonna do, we're gonna fight. And that's exactly what she did for him. And his response was almost immediate. Just with his diagnosis, we knew those that react sooner have a better chance of survival.
He instantly got better. His face started to change.
His color changed. He started to smile. He was a happy baby. He was eating.
You're brought in by a social worker and you kind of have a family management meeting. You know, who's gonna quit? What does that do to the budget? What does that look like? And then they start to guide you in directions and force you to almost address or deal with things that you don't even realize are there.
I mean, Hawk was well taken care of. He was on a schedule that was written not by us. We would show up and we would take care of and support him. It was our schedule at home that became really difficult.
You know, for Shannon and Bob, they have 3 other children to care for. They had to split their time.
We had people in the community that, you know, stepped forward and wanted to help with, you know, meals and dinner and chores around the house, laundry and travel of kids, and all of that became very, very overwhelming.
Also, another kind of challenge we faced was getting information out to the community that had such an outpouring of support and love. We have such a great community that we live in and that we work for, and they embraced us and they adopted Hawk as their own. So we wanted to find a way to communicate with them help us.
You know, there's a system in which she could tell the story. People could join and they could follow the story as it went on. She opened an account and she started to write what she called Hawk's Heroic Tale.
We had a calendar system where people were signing up for meals.
And then, you know, another individual set up a crowdfunding site to help with the resource issue that you're going to face in these situations.
So we were using 3 sites, all that served a wonderful purpose.
So all of these things were tremendously important, but they also became very overwhelming. We had, you know, 3 different things going on. One we, you know, didn't have a comfort level in. We shut down rather quickly on the crowdfunding side. The other system, you know, did a good job scheduling things, but we didn't know what our login was. We couldn't find it. And then the blog site Shannon really kind of ran with, which was a huge asset.
Bob and I felt that there needed to be an easier way. We wanted to help parents, so we came up with the idea of how great it would be to have a one-stop shop and how easy that would be to write a blog, to be able to see financial support if that's something that a family or a person wanted, to see who was bringing you a meal.
We decided to develop a site that brought all of that together, really put the power and the ownership in those that create the site and what they want included.
The one thing that I wanted going into the making of this was we need to give something to families that's going to lighten their load. You know, Life Extraordinary's mission is to, you know, assist people to overcome obstacles. And it's really through Hawk's journey that he taught us perseverance, perspective, and purpose.
We needed to make change and be better because of this. That regardless of our outcome, if Hawken makes this or not, we were going to make sure this event turned into something positive.
Everyone has some type of story to tell.
You have the ability of blog to tell your story. We think it's very easy to navigate, very easy to create. It allows you to really make the experience for those that are using it very easy as well, and truly share your story.
The ease of use is very transferable from other documents, so you can copy and paste things relatively easy and no other modifications are needed. You can make it private or public. So if this is something that you want to keep private within your own family, you certainly have the opportunity to keep it as private as you want, but it's compatible with all forms of social media, and there's ability to really make it the page that you want it to be. For others, it may be blogging and crowdfunding.
You have the ability to crowdfund, raise money around or help with the event that you're dealing with. And the crowdfunding component, again, very easy to use. Very upfront that there's a processing fee and that can be offset by those making donations. The money is going to go back and reach the family.
For some people or some families, it would be all 3, and with the calendar component to have things scheduled for them.
The ability to coordinate and schedule support, because not everyone can or wants to donate financially, but maybe they want to help with time. Maybe they want to help with transporting of kids or bringing over meals. So people can focus on getting through what they need to get through. And our hope is that through his story and through what we provide, people will achieve great things.
Life Extraordinary is more than a web-based platform. It's a new way of thinking. It's a new way to look at life. And it's an opportunity for everyone to share their inspirations, in whatever that may be. And whether it's through a medical journey, whether it's a personal journey or a community journey, it's a way for people to showcase what they have to offer and for all of us to learn from each other.
I think one of the most exciting things for me to see has actually been how Hawken, who's walking, who's talking, who is developing at least as normally as everybody else, if not a little bit above the curve. So I think the fact that we were able to provide that support for his development through therapy, that was really amazing.
We always enjoyed him, and now seeing him in the clinic, it is just total joy. It inspires you that you just want to fight for this kid.